Hello, friends. Welcome back. Welcome back to today's episode. I had a video out, it's a few months ago, talked about I was over on Rachel's stream and somebody mentioned, hey, Ron, if you show us some of your rare records. So I pulled a couple out, and I thought, well, that's kind of a good idea for a video. People want to see that kind of stuff. So I made a video about it. And then here I was thinking about what can I make a video about, and I said, hey, I'll pull some rare records. So I pulled a bunch out, and I said, you know what? I made a video about that here a while back. But I only had to pull, I think probably I had pulled 40 records. So I pulled about 10 out that I had just done the video of. So these are like 30 more that I have that are, some are kind of rare, some are not as rare, but they're mostly unknown. Some of you folks are going to know this stuff, of course, but a lot of other people don't. And I had another person here just yesterday made a comment on my top 10 most listened to records, and he's like, we want more of these. These are great. There's got to be 10 more records you think are great. So yeah, I went to my record collection. I started pulling top 10 records. And I got to Alice Cooper and I already had 10. So there's probably another 4 videos right there of top 10 records we can do. And so I'm going to make 3 videos of the ones I pulled out. I've got like 33 records, so 11 records each. Top 10 most rare records kind of thing. I don't know what I'm going to call the video yet, but we'll start out with this record. These guys are from Japan, and they're called Kika Guru Mojo. Yeah, how about that? They got some mojo going on, these guys do. This is Forest of Lost Children. It's a 2019 repress of the 2014 Japanese Psych Classic. It's a 24 Japanese Psych Classic, apparently. It's already a classic. And it's 45 RPM, so that caught my attention too. And I think I saw these guys on YouTube or something. Anyway, it's mostly instrumental. They do have some singing in there. There's not a lot of, it's English from what I can tell. And I don't pay a lot of attention to the words on this, but really, really good melodies. And a lot of kind of some sitars in here, a lot of psychedelic, got some fuzz. Really good record. Really recommend this one if you can find it. It shouldn't be that hard to find, but I don't think many people even know about theirs or have it in their collection. So I thought it would be a rare record. Number 2. On the list we have Egg. These guys are from 1970, and they used to be called Ural. And when they were Ural, that was back in 69, and they had a guitarist back then. His name was Steve Hillage. Well, he went off to go to university, and they had left these 3 guys, the organ player, the drummer, and the keyboard, right? So you got a 3-piece band now. Keyboard, drums, and bass. So yeah, they made a record anyway. And I don't have to tell you, yeah, it's keyboard based, yeah. But really good. The keyboard and the bass, they do a lot of that in tune, fast playing together stuff. So that's really cool. And just a really good record. Now there is a spot on side 2, because there's no guitar solo. The guy does have a Moog synthesizer. He plays, the organ and synthesizer on here. So he's got a thing on side 2, probably for about 5 or 6 minutes. It gets a little bit spacey, a lot of weird, synthesizer stuff going on. But for the most part, it's a really tasty songs, good, kind of progressive, of course, because it's lots of, not a lot of singing on here, but there is, of course, and a lot of organ. Just a good record, but it's from 1970, and the thing about this was is from Decca Records, which normally it would have been pressed on a Durham, being out of Germany. But they put it on the Nova label because they wanted to start kind of a progressive label like Philips Polygram did, or Phonogram. They started the Vertigo label in the same year, basically, 69, so they could put their more progressive stuff on a special label. Different, not the normal. I don't know how Black Sabbath ended up on the Swirl, but it was for bands that were out of the norm. There was something different coming along, and they sure were. So this is the thing about this record. Very, very good. Recommend it highly. Then we have a band, Fantasy Factory, Ode to Life. And this is from, what was the year on this? 1995. This is when this was made, 1995. It was made in Germany. And it's a Psych record from Germany, 1995. And a lot of really, really tasty tunes on this. Lots of great guitar jams, kind of some fuzz on here. Really good. It's on the Acme label, which is pretty cool. I'll show you the label. I thought the Acme label was cool. Of course, I put it in the wrong way. Show you the label. There it is, Acme. Yeah, that's a pretty cool label. Kind of reminds me of those 1969, 70 Ed Roth, right? Had that kind of cartoon stuff going on. Right. I think it's a fairly rare record. Of course, being from 95, there's not a lot of those around. And it's just a really good Psych record with a lot of good fuzz guitar and guitar solos, that kind of stuff, and a lot of really just tasty tunes on here. Then we have a band out of England, Orangutan, and this is a kind of a funny story about these guys. They recorded this in London. The record was recorded in London, and they were, at that time, the band was called Hunter. That was in, but what happened was in 1971, their manager, he took the tapes, he goes to the United States and he gets the record made under the Bell label, and he never told anybody. Yeah, nice guy. So it's nobody even knew that the record was even out. He went there and did it, and it was kind of a lost record. But this thing here now, this is a hard Psych with two lead guitars on it. It's a hard rock, and then of course the two leads, they play a lot together. They're playing together a lot on the record with the heavy guitar jams. So it's a hard rockin' record. This one is. Yep. So that's about it. Hard rock, hard Psych. Got some Psych overtones in this record. Just a really good 71. Then we have a record called Sam Gopel. Interesting thing about this is there's a guy called Lemmy that wrote the songs and plays guitar on this. And Ian Lemmy Willis, in 1967, he shared a flat with Noel Redding from, Jimi Hendrix, the bass player. And Lemmy ended up being a roadie. He got a roadie job with Jimi Hendrix in 67. Well, in 68, he goes to this band, to these fellas. They were under a different name, but then they formed the band Sam Gopel with Lemmy. He wrote the songs. And it's kind of a hard Psych fuzz, and it's got some East Indian Hindu type drumming percussion in the record. And I think there is a song with the sitar in it. Lemmy's on vocals, guitars. And actually, the interesting thing, they do a cover of Donovan's Season of the Witch on here. They do a cover tune one of Donovan's songs. And it is on a gatefold, which is nice. Gatefold record. So I thought that was pretty interesting. You know, Lemmy's on the record playing. He's also the singer on the record. He got East Indian percussion on here, and really good record. It's a hard, like I said, it's hard psych, fuzz in here, that kind of stuff. From 69, 68, 69. That's when that came out. Then we have another band. This band is called Glory. This is a real hard rocker, this one. This record here is a hard rocker. It features Jerry Ranney, and he's like the main attraction on here. He is a fantastic guitar player. These guys were formed in 1967 out of San Diego. That's where they hail from. And there's just a lot of great songs, a lot of good songwriting, good singing on here, and just a lot of great tunes on it. But every time that guy goes, every song's got a guitar solo, and that's the star of the show right there. Really good record, Glory. Then we have a band called Hurdy Gurdy. Yeah, where have you heard that before? Hurdy Gurdy Man, Donovan. Well, these guys, this is the band that had the song before Donovan did. They actually performed it for Donovan. These guys are hard now. These guys are hard rockers, hard psych. And Donovan really didn't like that style. He told them, no, I don't really like that. They were going to play it for Donovan on his record. He was going to sing. And Donovan decided, no, I don't want, it's too hard. I want it more of a folksy sound to the thing. Well, it ended up, he didn't do a folk song, did he? He made it pretty heavy. He kind of went with their style. But these guys are the ones that invented it. Now, this song, strangely enough, doesn't have Hurdy Gurdy Man on it. But it's a hard rockin' album. Let me look at my notes, what I wrote down here. 68, hard psych rock. And they're from Denmark, these guys. And actually they went to, I think it was, they ended up going to England. One of the guys got deported and they had to go to England, and that's where they met Donovan. And there's just a lot of blazing guitar solos on this record. Great songs. They got some tasty harmonica on here. There's one song they got some sitar on it. Yeah, that type stuff. Really good. Like I said, blazing guitar solos. Lots of great guitar on here. And just really good songs on it as well. This is from 72. Now we have a record that, I don't know if I wrote the date. It's 2010. This came out. This is Hypnosis 69. It's one of those gatefolds that kind of strange, you know, how they make the thing, how it folds out like this instead of doing it sideways. And then, of course, you have the inner gatefold, which is like this. Now, these guys are out of... this is a German pressing here now. And it's a hard... I'm looking at the wrong thing. These guys are from Belgium. Record was made in Belgium. It was recorded in Belgium in 2010. There's long keyboard solos on here, long saxophone, lots of guitar solos, lots of guitar on here. There's a few songs that get a little bit more spacey. They got some clarinet, they've got some flute, they get a little bit more spacey. But for the most part, it's a double record. There's some saxophone on here, keyboards. But for the most part, lots and lots of guitar on here. Really good, tasty guitar work. Great album. Hypnosis 69. Kind of rare, I think. I don't think it was even available ever in the United States, that record. I bought it out of Germany. Eloy. I'm not sure how many people are familiar with this band. They're kind of considered a progressive rock band. This is from Germany from 1974. It's got some, really good keyboards and really good guitar on here. And it's kind of a hard progressive rock. And they got some Hammond organ on here. So it's kind of got that deep purple Uriah Heep sound at times because of that organ. When the guy goes into the organ solos, yeah, you get that vibe of the deep purple and the Uriah Heep. And there's really good guitar work on here. And it's just epic stuff. Really good record. I'm not sure how many folks know about Eloy, but yeah, this is one of the good ones here. How about Lucifers Friend? Y'all heard of that band? Well, this is their first record. This is the OG that I bought in Canada, 1970, I think it is. It's on the Red Phillips label. It's been reissued. And these guys are hard rockers right here now. Let's have a look at the inside. The gatefold of the OG. These guys, 1970, hard rock, kind of on the metal side of stuff. This is kind of like Black Sabbath with organ. And they've got, again, that Uriah Heep vibe going on because of the organ and because of the singing. Because the lead singer for Uriah Heep, yeah, this was his first band. So you've got Uriah Heep singing. You've got Lucifers Friend, who's kind of doing their Black Sabbath impersonation. And this is just a hard rock and great record. Most of you, I think, hopefully are familiar with it. If you're not, it's one of those rare records from 1970. I don't think a lot of people know about this because most of those Lucifers Friends records, yeah, this is the only one I have. Really good record. And the record cover, yeah, that's a killer. Look at these guys. Yeah. In not bad shape for having it for all them years. 53-year-old record. Not bad, right? And, back in the day, we didn't have outer sleeves. We just had to, take care of our records, I guess. But now with outer sleeves, makes taking care of your records a lot easier. And then we have one of my favorites. This is another one of those really super rare records. Mr. Oil Man. This is the Jarvis Street Review. And this is a 2000. It was finally reissued in 2000 because the original now was on a Columbia 2i. These guys are out of Thunder Bay, Ontario. Let me show you the picture of the guys. This is some 1970 Canadian dudes, right? Check those guys out, 1970. Now this is a psych record, and these guys, they really wrote one of the legendaries, one of my favorite songs of all time called Mr. Oil Man is on this record. And it's just fantastic. Now I heard it was in 1970. At that time, I listened to a lot of radio, and the main thing in my stereo was a reel-to-reel. And I had it hooked up to my parents' stereo, and I would record FM on there. And there was one time, there was a few times they played this song, Mr. Oil Man, on the radio, on FM. And I called up the radio station, and I said, hey, that song you're playing, Mr. Oil Man, I need to buy that record. What's the name of the record? What's the name of the group and all that stuff? And he told me, and he said, but here's the thing. You can't buy the record. And I said, yeah, I can. I got money. And he said, no. It's already been deleted. You're never going to be able to find it. It's been deleted. So in those days, there's no internet. There's nothing. You could never find it. So the funny story goes, this was about 2001 or so. My son is on the computer, and he's telling me, Dad, there's a site to have every record known to mankind. You can get anything. I said, no, you can't get anything. He said, yeah. He said, well, tell me one. I said, Jarvis Street Review, Mr. Oilman. See if they have that. He pulls it up. Yeah, they got it. I go, well, what? They have it. Buy it. Well, it was a CD at the time. Buy the thing. And then later, just looking on eBay, I found this one. And I think I looked on the Discogs, it's a 2000 issue. I think they're about $60 or so. Yeah, the originals, there's two on Discogs. One is 800 and the other one is 1200. Yeah, I'm not buying those. Well, it comes with a nice little 7-inch. The reissue does, on green vinyl. Pretty cool. And also the record itself is on this translucent green vinyl. Again, that's pretty cool. And it's a nice, big, thick gatefold cover. Like I said, I think they're $65, $70, you know, something like that. But wow. And Mr. Oilman, that's the one you need to go on YouTube and listen to that. My kids know it by heart because I had it on the CD, of course, and I played it in the car all the time. That's one of the kids, again, one of their favorites. I'll say, you want to listen to something? How about Mr. Oilman? They're picking the song. They want to hear that. Really good. So I recommend that. This is another one of those rare records that I'm going to be talking about in the next 3-part series. And so I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to like the video, and I want to thank everybody for subscribing. And bye for now.